24th November 1934, Morning Satsang, number 14. Meditate upon what you hear. Sages like Shuka, Valmiki, and Narada all reach spiritual attainment with self-knowledge, Atma Vidya. That high status is attainable by listening to spiritual instruction and meditation upon it. One must practice according to what one has heard. Only then is self-knowledge possible. Only one who is not attracted to the objects of the world can gain self-knowledge through listening and meditation. By simply verbally describing a sweet dish, that food does not become prepared. You must first prepare it, and only then can you eat it. Only then does one get the benefit. The study of the self is to remain with an attitude of being in unity with the self, or with one's true nature, Swarupa. No one becomes a sage by just putting on the crimson or saffron-colored clothes of a renunciate. Your mind should accept what it listens to in satsang. The mind should be attuned to what it hears. The attention of the mind should be as smooth and constant as the steady flow of oil from one pot to another in a fine, thin stream. You must listen again and again to what is said because you do not remember. This forgetfulness is why you do not experience your unity with the self. Everyone builds their houses on the wind. They build castles in the air. In the world, everything is taking place because of the word. First, the concept of a tall building is spoken about in so many words, and then the building is erected. Someone who is ignorant becomes wise only through words. If you do not truly hear the words, how can listening take place? Trying to teach you is then like pouring water on a buffalo. All of the water is wasted. That is because your attention is focused on objects and does not loosen its interest from them. If it frees itself, then the job is over, and you have become Brahman. Your being should remain constantly as Brahman. All of the 5 elements are finely mixed in each other. The self, Atman, also dwells in them, but it is aloof. All of the houses are built only out of earth, but their shapes and their owners are different. Similarly, although people are many in number, the inner self in all, as God, and the space are one. However, there is some factor which calls itself as I. That factor is false. It need not be there. If you separate yourself and become proud of that separateness, then you suffer sorrow. Then listening becomes futile because the mind is attracted to sense objects and identifies with subtle objects called thoughts. Attaining the knowledge of Brahman, Brahmavidya, is difficult because our attention is turned towards sense objects. If one has a liking for listening to spiritual teachings, for satsang, something seems to be missing if one cannot experience satsang. The mind's disposition changes by continuous good company through inquiry and reflection. There should be constant reflection and meditation day and night on the spiritual instruction that one has received. Talk about it and listen to it. But what is even more important is putting the good advice that one has received into practice. Just the act of merely listening to the teaching is not so important. One must get the actual direct experience of what is being indicated and pointed to, and feel united with it. If one can do this, they attain all the spiritual powers, the siddhis. What is the meaning of the attainment of spiritual powers? This means that one very naturally gets all of the good things and comforts of life. This occurs because one is desireless. All people insist that they should receive something in return for whatever they offer. But do not be swept away by the desire for riches in any form. You must maintain desirelessness, and then you will be of the nature of Brahman.